welcome to Spread the Word! We're back in person.
So different and wonderful. Is this our year?
This is our year.
Oh my god, it is our year.
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary!
To us.
And you! You've been on this journey with us. We love you very much.
Yes.
You see that I'm smiling? So, I read the Book of Atlantis Black by Betsy Bonner. Subtitle is The Search for a Sister Gone Missing. As y'all know, I really like true crime a lot. I really like true crime that has some heart to it. And this is that. So, Betsy Bonner, her sister is Atlantis Black, but it was a stage name. But her sister was a punk rock singer. Her sister goes missing in Mexico, and the next thing that her family knows is they send back her ID and say, your sister's dead, so sorry. And so Betsy that doesn't sit well with her, and so years later she's trying to find out what happened to her sister. Is she actually dead? And if she is dead, like, how did she get to that point? Because she had been battling heroin addiction for a long time, but she was on the mend, and then all of a sudden this is what happens. Mm-hmm. You're going through the actual steps of the case, but then also her relationship with her sister and them growing up together. They're far enough apart in age where Betsy definitely idolized her sister, but like also was able to recognize that her sister was maybe not one to be idolized as a teenager.
Saint X, anyone?
Right?
I think that
It's very similar. That dynamic is very similar.
Yeah.
Betsy Bonner isn't like giving a surface level investigation, but it's just as much about that as it is about her exploring her relationship with her sister.
I mean, how could you not? Like, it's her sister.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Your sister died, and I don't know. Like, I don't think it would be something you'd ever let go.
Yeah.
No, of course it wouldn't be. So,
yeah.
The Book of Atlantis Black.
This sounds good.
I read How to Argue with a Racist. This is nonfiction, obviously. I would say the title, I know why they chose this, it's compelling. It does not actually tell you how to argue with a racist. It's not like an actual how-to book. This is a science genetics book about how genetics do not prove racism, basically. Which is fascinating in its own sense. You know when you are really into a book and you're just being like, I'll just read for 30 minutes right when I wake up before I start working. So that's what I found myself doing with this, because I just felt like his writing was good. Like, it is a little technical, but he makes it very approachable, and he has these very, like, he's British, and he has these very funny little British jokes in there. So he's very funny, but he also really gets into the science, and the book is broken up into 4 sections. The 4 parts are skin color, then ancestry, then sports, then and intelligence. There's like 4 major sectors that come up a lot, I think, in racist argument. And he kind of launches into these 4 parts that are what I think you see a lot in media being promoted as like genetic traits attributed to races. And my kind of whole takeaway from the book, what he says as a geneticist and what he sees in the science, is that you can't map genetics to what we conceptualize in society as race. So he's like, genetics don't not matter, but they do not support racist ideas.
It would be good supplemental reading for Stamped, because he does touch on that with like the emergence of racial ideas or racist ideas. He says specifically with genetics, there's no characteristic that any race gets from genetics. That's just not a thing. Okay, so I read Migrations by Charlotte McConaughey. This is set in what is sadly I would say the very near future. It's basically like all of the animal rock stars, like lions, elephants, rhinoceros, gorillas, they're all extinct. Extinct, gone. Due to climate change, due to policymakers who prioritize money over the health of our planet.
That would never
and thus
happen.
The health of us.
That would never happen, Danielle.
Such fiction.
I know. Okay, so Franny is a huge fan of a particular bird called the Arctic tern, and it's because they have the longest migration. They go from Arctic to the Antarctic, and they live 30 years, and they migrate, I think, every year to find food. If they live 30 years, that's the same as going to the moon 3 times.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So she is really fascinated with him, and part of the reason she's fascinated is because she herself is a wanderer. She just kind of can't keep roots. So she is trying to hop on a ship with some fishermen to go with them to track the migration of these birds. And what she's going to say to these fishermen is, the birds will take you to fish, because fishermen are having trouble finding fish now because the ocean is basically emptied out. Kind of going on a physical voyage to track these birds, but also a very personal one as well. The writing is very poetic. It's really beautifully written. There's action, but there's a lot of really deep character dives too. Franny is a really interesting, complex, beautiful, frustrating, chaotic character. I mean, really, whoa. She's a force. I cried at the end of the book. It's really affecting. Like, I think that it will stay with me for a really long time. And not just because of Franny being this, like, whirlwind, chaotic character, and somebody that I also admire, but just because this world that we're in here is not that far off from where we are right now. So it is a cautionary tale as well. If you want something that is that emotionally devastating, that's like literary fiction, but also has hints of a mystery thriller, then this is your book, and it's really good. I won.
Okay, that was the end of Spread the Word. But we have more exciting things to tell you about Independent Bookstore Day coming up on August 29th.
But Independent Bookstore Day is coming to you, and you shall not. And you cannot.
You know
will not.
Shan't is short for shan't.
Let's sing it out.
What are we singing?
Everybody. Da 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 da.